All right, so thank you so much, everybody, for being here for our second. It's kind of always weird when you say second annual type of stuff. It doesn't sound right to me. But anyways, this is our second one to do this. But just real quick, I wanted to kind of give some props to people that are vendors here. I want to give them about a 30-second intro to kind of tell who they are, what they do a little bit, because they played a big part in what we do here. And what we're actually here for is military families. A lot of you think it's for veterans. And I know a lot of you are here that are veterans, which, by the way, raise your hand if you are a veteran in the room. Thank you for your service. Because that's really what we're here for, is active duty military, and what we're raising funds for, what we're getting toys for, all this kind of stuff that you saw on the list and on the invite. As you scan this QR code, you'll kind of see what that list looks like if you haven't got that. But it's really for active duty, okay? And I have a big heart for active duty. Not that I don't have a big heart for veterans, because I hire veterans with my company. But it's really about giving back to those that serve actively right now, those heroes and their families. And those of you that, all of you that are here, you know my heart when it comes to that, right? And so I thank you for being here. And so I'll get a little bit more into the details on fundraising and all that kind of stuff here in just a second. But I did want to give a few shout outs to a few people. One, Frances Allen. I know she ducked out of here. She is the owner operator as such of this house. And so give it up for Frances, because this is a beautiful venue. And her team. And the Santa Claus that she brings to the table as well. So please get your pictures and everything like that with the Santa Claus. Be careful. I would like to also, which I don't know if she's in here, Mary Ann and her team, which is Evie Holiday. They actually made all the introductions to me and Francis, and they are a big part of this when it comes to Evie Holiday and what they do in this town and what they do as a whole. So Mary Ann and Debbie, I don't know if y'all are in here, but please give them a shout out as well. Again, the people who like to be behind the scenes. Sage, are you in here?
Yeah, right here. I'm right here.
Sage, I'm going to let you kind of speak a little bit about what you do. And again, I'm going to give everybody a 30-second chance. But Sage, come on in here. All right. Sage provided the amazing food that you're tasting today.
Thank you, Sage.
And so, Sage, if you don't mind kind of sharing just a little bit about who you are, what you do, just real quick.
My name is Sage. I'm opening up a place right across the street called Chef's House. The establishment basically is a daily menu with fresh ingredients, local ingredients. It goes from proteins to vegetables to starch to fungi. So that's basically it. And I'm happy to support the kids of the veterans, honestly. Salud, Chindan, and Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, all that stuff.
Thank you, Sage. Next, I'd like to introduce you, Steve Unger. He sits over there on that side of the room. Steve Unger, he was a great promoter as well today, sponsor. Steve, if you don't mind saying just a little bit about what you do.
Sure. Before that, I just want to, talk about the guy in the ugly jacket.
It's not ugly.
Yes, I met him about beginning of summer, and I wanted to say something that I never knew about the problem that's going on with our military families. And when he explained to us, my wife and I, we jumped right in, and we support this, and we work every day to help him and you, Lydia, to bring more money and more support to families that are on the base, especially when the husbands are or wives are abroad and the kids are here with the spouse and they don't have enough money to support the families. So it's really, I took it to my heart, I'm sure my wife as well, and thank you for including us and letting us know about this project and having us with this project. Now, what I do is...
10 seconds.
Yeah. What I do is, guys, I'm going to make it very simple. I can help any business, any 1099 employee, any small business, any large company to save a lot of money on health coverage and to make some money back into the bottom line through FICA tax incentives. Because when government gives, we should all take it because the money is going to go somewhere else. So look me up, find me. I'll show you how to save some money. And we can all spend more money when we save some money. That's all I have to say.
Next up, I'd like to put it over to Jackie DeLong, a longtime friend of mine. She works for Scott & Cooner, and I'll let her kind of introduce herself and what she does.
Hi, I'm Jackie DeLong. I do work for Scott & Cooner. I'm actually a kitchen and cabinet specialist, specifically for Polyform, which is a company out of Milan, Italy. We do new construction, renovations. If you're looking to do a new kitchen or a new closet, the product is top notch, and we have an installer, and I will work with you from start to finish. I'll be with you along the whole way. So if you're ever looking to do any kind of kitchen remodeling or closets or even wall systems, I have the product for you. Yay.
Next, I'd like to introduce Kyle Wasco. He works for Daltile, which almost is kind of, if you're in my industry, you know what it is, but not everybody's in my industry, obviously.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm Kyle with Daltile. Nice to meet you guys today. So what we do, we sell tile, we sell countertops, LVT, natural stone. We've got 5 showrooms in the DFW area here, so next time you guys are planning a remodel or building a new house, come check out one of our showrooms and then call Brandon up with Flooring Inspirations to do your install. So.
Next, I kind of bump it over to, we actually, if you were here a couple of weeks ago, we actually did a really cool event here that is really close to Francis's heart. When it comes to, we had a Yappy Hour, right? So again, we might have another one in spring, possibly, but when it starts to get a little nicer and the dogs and animals can get outside. But it was a really cool event. But Daylene, I'm going to let her talk about the Trinity Gap Rescue Program, if you can.
Yep, absolutely. Stephanie and I are here from Trinity Gap. Thank you so much for inviting us. Nothing goes together better than dogs and kids. So what we've done is we've put together a silent auction, and I know that some of you have participated in it. Nothing here. Everything here goes towards our dogs, even though we're here predominantly for your people, but Trinity Gap dogs are getting. You're making me so darn nervous.
I'm like the only one that says nothing in it.
It's just that thing right there. Anyways, and I know that we have some bidders, but the bidding ends in about a minute. So if you really want to get in on it, you need to do it so now. We've got giveaways and we've got jewelry and artwork, and it all goes towards the dogs. And Stephanie, I don't know if there's a few seconds left. You can talk about what Trinity Gap is and where it started.
We are an educationally based program. I started out of a high school group, and we try to train kids how important it is to take care of dogs, and we think it makes them more responsible citizens. And we sponsor a local animal shelter, and we brought their kill rate down basically to 0 for space, so we're very proud of that. And we help any dogs that we possibly can, and so anything that you bid on goes to help shelter homeless dogs. And we're very appreciative of Brandon for inviting us, and Francis.
Thank you. Next up, I'd like to introduce Tim McIntosh with Carpion. I'm not going to really explain everything that he does because that's for him to do, but it's definitely wellness management and everything like that. So that's about all. That's what I know. He's going to help me. So.
Thank you, Brandon. No problem. First of all, I am Tim McIntosh. I am a Marine Corps veteran, and so I'd like to, really appreciate everybody being here today. As a veteran, having been there, you know exactly what it is to be very young in the military and so forth. And it shouldn't be the case, but there are needs there that just really do need to be addressed. They need to be supplemented, and your help, although it may seem small to you, it really is a big impact to them. So we really appreciate that. Stephen, whom I met some time ago, is the one who introduced me to Brandon. That's started this Mission Ready. As soon as I heard about it, I just wanted to be a part of it. Just anything I can do to give back, I'm all in. I'm certainly there. A little bit about my firm. My background is all financial services. I came from Merrill Lynch Wealth Management, and now about a year and a half ago went independent. Now we run our own independent wealth management firm based in South Lake. So as part of the community out there, really even more so to be a part of something like this. So thank you.
Cindy, I'm about to put you on the spots, because you have something really cool to also give today. I'm going to let her explain that to you and what you also do as well.
I would need more than 30 seconds then.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to come here. Hi everybody, my name is Sandia Jindal. So Amazon chooses to pay $0 in taxes. We all know that. Warren Buffett chooses to pay 14 to 17% in taxes. Yet, a small business owner, according to Forbes, is paying $10,000 on an average more dollars in taxes every year. So what my company and my firm is all about is finding legal tax strategies that are supported by the tax code for these small business owners and help them legally and ethically pay $0 in taxes. I'm a tax strategist who also happens to be a CPA. Please approach me if there is somebody you know who can get help with paying $0 in taxes legally, morally, ethically. Sandhya Jindal with Jindal CPA firm, and that's about me. And today I have a silent auction, 2 of these, same, for a vacation, a family vacation to Las Vegas. It's a $997 in value, 4 days and 3 nights. You're going to pay taxes every night. However, your stay is going to be free. Any proceeds that we gather will go to Brandon and his cause, most likely to the food pantry that we're trying to, gather funds for. So please come on in and help out. So we will leave the auction open for an hour. Whoever brings in the money is the winner. I don't know how you want to do it, right?
Thank you. Okay. So that kind of leads me to the next segue of I'm going to introduce somebody that's very, very important to what we do. And kind of real quick, I'm going to talk about Mission Ready. Some of the board members, some of the people that are involved in Mission Ready, and what Mission Ready is, it's a non-profit organization that a few of us helped get started, that really its mission is twofold. One, to give back to the active duty military families that are here on our Joint Reserve Base, okay, here in Fort Worth. We have 5,000, 6,000 plus families, and I'm not going to say that. We have non-commissioned officers, 5,000 to 6,000 of those that live here in Fort Worth, right, and scattered amongst the community. So a lot of them have families, right? And so Mission Ready is a 501c3 that gives money back to the on-base food pantry, which we'll get to here in just a second of what we're really here for. And then a second part of that, of what Mission Ready does, is actually get people of disability, special needs into construction and whatever that takes to do that. So that's actually what Mission Ready is. If everybody wants to be part of it, raise your hand if you're actually an active member, board member in Mission Ready. Raise your hand if you're in here. Yep, you'll see a couple of people that are already in here. If you have questions about it, please come and ask these people that you saw raise their hand of what we do. We are very under the table, very kind of like a secret organization that we kind of don't want any of the credit or anything that we do, because we operate underneath the radar, as you can say, which is, I believe, is the best way to do things in secret. I believe that the Lord blesses you in certain ways for that. But really, I want to kind of introduce somebody that is on the family readiness side of things. She works for the DOD, and she's part of the, I guess, the director of Fleets for Family, right? Her name is Lydia Miller, and she has not previously been able to say anything. If anybody saw her last year, she was like incognito, so you're like, oh wait, I remember her. But this year, she actually finally gets to come out and say a little bit about, or a lot about, why we are actually here today and the families that we actually get to help and be active participants with her and helping on base here. So, you can take as long as you want, Lydia. And Brendan, follow it up too. Her husband, Brendan.
So I'm Lydia, and I am the president of the Family Readiness Group, and that became official last year. So our legal officer from the installation approved that we can have, not only continue to have a food pantry, but we can legally solicit and receive donations to continue the food pantry in a way that we are able to continue to serve the 6,000 people that may need us. I will tell you that I submitted a report to the commanding officer just yesterday, and we had 400 families come and visit the food pantry. And so the food pantry is a no questions asked. We do follow the Secretary of Defense memo that requires the person to be active duty or reservist, E6 or below, and what that means is that they're the kind of family that is not an officer, that has not reached a rank that has produced a whole bunch of money. We do know and understand that there is predictable income, but we also know that the world has changed dramatically for every single one of us in this room, and it's way more expensive than it used to be. We started the food pantry 5 years ago when I became the other position, which is the director of the facility. But as the Family Readiness Group president, I've continued to grow the food pantry to include like a Christmas giveaway. Today we received, for example, a generous donation of toys. And what we do is the same eligibility criteria. We look at people who are E6 and below that are attached to the installation that may need our support. We do a quick triage to identify the individual with the need. We've done the research and the study that says that is exactly what we need to do during this difficult time with the world the way it is. But also during the Christmas holiday, we understand that things or costs are increasing every year. So sometimes we are blessed, as we are today, with all of you with this event, Brendan, and we greatly appreciate it. I know that coming here, we rushed here. But we were both really excited for this to come because we always get excited when we know that our program can grow and that we are able to reach more people. And so my goal every year is to increase the amount of people that receive our assistance without no questions asked. And I say that only because if a military family goes to a food pantry, so just think about any food pantry you may know, they have to sit with someone who is typically a caseworker who will assess how much income they have, how much they're making in their family size. And so because our military has predictable income, they're typically not eligible. So they don't receive their services that we would think they should. I mean, things like WIC that would typically be available. You have to be kind of lower ranking and have multiple kids. We tried. We were never eligible. Those kind of things, right? So we know and understand that the eligibility criteria other places is sometimes a huge obstacle. And so we're able to, with your donations, as with other donors, are able to have the no questions asked, but we do keep in mind the E6 and below. And we do offer budget planning and financial planning and clinical counseling and all the other services to make sure that we're supplementing kind of what you said, the support that they have, not just like at the moment. Like, what are we doing long term? We're going to teach you how to fish for sure, that kind of thing. But if anybody has any questions about the FRG, which is the acronym, military has a bunch of acronyms. Those of you who have served will understand that. That's how we think and talk. So the FRG, again, is a nonprofit per se. Our paperwork is still in process. It's so new, but our efforts are always to make sure that we're taking care of our military. And and your focus is active military, but we're on a joint reserve base, and so we do serve our reservists as well. A lot of them don't necessarily have full-time jobs, and so their only money is the drilling time. And so if you don't drill, you don't get paid, and sometimes we do supplement some of that assistance they may need. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm the starter and the continued individual, I hope to stay in the president role, and only not because of the authority, but certainly because of the oversight. I have it in my heart. It's my passion. I have an opportunity to do so. The commanding officer has finally endorsed and is allowing us to do that legally, and we want to continue it, but we will do it and have great accountability. And I will tell you that everything we receive does go to our military. We don't do like, oh, you give us this, we'll give you that. That's not what we're about. We're all about them. And so if you go today, for example, we have a room 20 is what I'm calling it right now. Room 20 is filled with gifts that we've received thus far for some of the military families that we have. And so we want that to grow every year, but with your generosity, that would grow. So, but that's, again, don't ever give me 30 seconds. When I do training, they're like, oh, it's Lydia. As long as it's Lydia, it's gonna go a little longer. But anyway, so that's who we are. Thank you again for being there. Thank you for Mission Ready. And Brandon, I know I was a gatekeeper for a couple years and didn't let him in. That's the truth. But it's because we want to be careful who we're allowing to come into our installation. And we always look to make sure that there are people who are reputable as yourselves that have the commitment to assist and continue to assist. So thank you.
That QR code gets you to it's the event list, right? Or the event invite. Once you get to that QR code is meant to be sent. It's meant to be sent out so that other people can scan it. And what it does is when you scan this, it takes you to the event. That event, now that QR code that's on that event intake actually goes to PayPal, right? Which we have Mission Ready, and also we were so kind to borrow a tax ID number from the, I think it was the Chabad, right, in Southlake, right? Nicole's somewhere around here. Oh, there you are, right? So we were able to actually utilize theirs, so thank you, Nicole, for being able to do that, because what all that donation is going to. I think we're going to go ahead and put it on what so far is a vanilla card. Everything that gets raised monetarily is going to go on that, so that, and the goal is $30,000. That would allow to Lydia and her team to go through January, February. Maybe that's about it. I'm going to let her answer questions later on why it only maybe goes that far. For her to be able to purchase things from the commissary, which is like half the cost that you or I would pay for it. So that's why we're also encouraging monetary donations, right? Yeah, no taxes, right? To be able to let her fulfill her needs in the food pantry. Just kind of give you an idea. Lydia, talk about in the last, like after Thanksgiving, what was the need and how fast did all that happen as far as whenever you get a full refrigerator, how fast does that leave you right now? Since we don't have mess halls, by the way.
I will tell you that. So today we received what we would consider a half refrigerator. That'll last until Friday. So I have the industrial type refrigerator and freezer side by side. As soon as we have someone that comes in that has a need, they spread the word because the need is there. And so today is Wednesday, correct? Yes. So by end of Friday, my fridge and freezer will be empty. We're talking about 6,000 active duty people that are connected to the installation. It's well worth their drive from Red River, from Grand Prairie to come and get what they need. So again, we do limit, just so that you know, because we know their need is so high, we limit, they come in once every 30 days. They're allowed 2 bags, and we do unfortunately have to monitor to make sure that the fidelity of what's received goes out and we spread the well. So there is a tracking system. There is, again, we double, triple check that individuals who, for example, receive toys that like we'll receive today have not been individuals who received from another organization that gave gifts over the weekend. So we cross-reference everything to make sure that we spread that well. So, but the refrigerator, we saw it half full today. It'll be gone by end of Friday.
Okay, so that kind of lets you know about what the need is. I don't know what 30,000 would do on a card for her and how long it would last, but that's the goal. And so I implore you, if you could scan it, send it out. She did give me a deadline of Friday, but I promise you she will take monetary donations. That was really the gift side of things, was this like Friday of this week. And you're like, why did it take you so long to do this? Well, there's kind of a weird thing. There's other organizations that take care of a lot of kids, right? They're amazing organizations, Toys for Tots, yada, yada, yada. They're amazing organizations, but there's some things that kind of fall through the cracks, whether a family didn't see the email, blah, 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 blah. I'm not here to discuss that. But there's some kids that get left over, and that's where Lydia, sends to us that real quick list. This is what we need. So I kind of light the fire right underneath you to say this is kind of a blitz. Whether you were able to give monetary or you're able to give physical, I am not shy. The reason you're here is because you know people and you're a person that either has monetary availability or you know people that have monetary availability and can get this stuff done really quickly for these families. And I'm not shy about asking, right? So please scan the QR codes that are around the room, send them out to your family, your friends, constituents. It doesn't really matter, because if they understand it, and now that you've heard it from the mouth, not just from everybody else like me, you've heard it from the mouth of the person that directly affects those families, please share, please get funds donated, please get physical items donated. And I'm not talking about, these aren't like just regular toys, they're like deodorants and things that my kids just kind of take for granted, right? I think, what was it, a couple of months ago, I think we took, I don't know, quite a bit of female hygiene products. I think they were gone like in 3 or 4 days, right? So if you know groups, if you know people, if you know just individuals, whatever it happens to be, businesses, let them know about what you saw today, what you heard today, and really tug on their heartstrings to give to their heroes, right? And their families. That's kind of how I want to wrap it up, right? So thank you for being here. If you have any questions, obviously you see some people. If you're part of my team, please raise your hand as far as like my group of employees and people that, right. A lot of these people are veterans. Undivided Labor does a on-purpose job of hiring veterans, active duty military spouses. That's what we do. So as you come up to my team and you want to talk to them about what it is, they're people that have been in this position, right? They're veterans that have been on base and everything. If you don't know what that's like, come and talk to them, because they'll let you know. I just thank you for being here, right? So thank you guys. Enjoy the food and drink. I got all the hard stuff, heartstrings tugged on and everything like that. So if you didn't feel like you need to do something, you're not alive. I don't know, but thank you. Y'all have a great night. And thank you for